Hello friends. Today we'll see how to configure AAA authentication on Cisco routers using Packet Tracer. AAA stands for Authentication, Authorization and Accounting. For this experiment, I have taken this .pka file and I have opened this particular .pka scenario using Packet Tracer, and this is the addressing table for this particular scenario. Our objective is to configure our local user account on R1 and configure authentication on the console. And then we have to configure server-based AAA authentication using Tacx Plus. And we have to configure server-based AAA authentication using this radius. And to know their configuration of these particular devices, if we hover over these devices, we can check their IP addresses. See here for this PCA, this is a IP address which is given here. So our first step is to test the connectivity. We have to check whether PC A, B and C all are connected. So we have to ping from PC A to PC B, PC A to PC C and PC B to PC C. To ping, we have to click on this PC and open in this desktop tab, open command prompt, and here we have to give IP address of PCB where we can ping. So IP address of PCB is 192.168.2.3, and see we are getting reply. Now we will ping to PCC from A. So 192.168.3.3, this is the IP address of PCC. And yes, we are getting reply from here also. Now we will check the connectivity from PCB to PCC. So here we'll open this command prompt and we will ping to PCC. The IP address is 192.168.3.3. And yes, we are getting reply. So our connectivity step is completed. Now we will configure username on R1. Click on R1, click on the CLI tab and here press enter. After that we have to give here enable command, and now it will ask for the password. Password we have to enter Cisco ENPA55. Cisco ENPA55, and now we have to give config command here. After config command, it will ask whether we want to configure from terminal, memory or network. So we will give terminal, and now R1 is in configuration mode. So here we have to configure a username admin1. So command will be username, and the username which we want to configure is admin1, and the password for the same username is secret is for the password, and the password we have to enter password is admin1 PA55. So we want to configure a username with the admin1 name and the password admin1 PA55. Next step is we have to configure local AAA authentication for console access on R. So command will be AAA new hyphen model. Let me make this window big so that it is visible. Now the next command we have to give here AAA authentication login default local. Now next step is to configure the line console to use the defined AAA authentication method, and the command will be line console space 0. Press enter. And now here, when it opened in the configuring line mode, here we have to give command login authentication default and press enter. Now next step is to verify AAA authentication method. For this, first we will end this configuring line mode, end END command. Then here in the R1 give exit command. Now here we will log in using the username and the password which we have created to verify whether that username and password is created or not. So press enter. It will ask for the username. So give admin1 and the password which we set admin1 PA55. And yes, we are able to log in. It means our username creation is successful. Now we have to configure local AAA authentication for VTY lines on R1. For that, we have to bring this R1 in config mode again. So we will give command enable, and again we will ask for the password. Now we have to give command config, and we have to tell whether we want to configure from terminal. Yes, now R1 is in config mode. Here we will use ccnasecurity.com as the domain name on R1. So we'll give command IP domain hyphen name, and domain name we are using ccnasecurity.com. Now we will create RSA crypto key. So we'll give command crypto key generate using RSA. Okay, I make mistake while entering. It should be key. Okay, now the key size can be from 500 in the range of 360 to 2048 bits. We will try to choose a moderate key size. So we will choose 1024. Okay. And now next step is to configure a named list AAA authentication method for the VTY lines on R1. So for that, first we will configure a named list called SSH login to authenticate logins using local AAA. So command is AAA authenticate login SSH hyphen login local. I made mistake here. Authentication. It should be authentication. AAA authentication login SSH hyphen login local. Now we will configure VTY lines to use the defined AAA authentication method. So command is line VTY 0 space 4. Now we will give command login authentication SSH login. Oh, sorry, I made again mistake. Next command is transport input SSH and end. Okay. Now we will verify AAA authentication method. We have configured AAA authentication using SSH. Now we will verify the AAA authentication method from PC1. So click on PC1, open command prompt, and here we will try to connect to R1 using SSH. So command is SSH space -L space username admin1 which we created and the IP address. So 19 of R1 192.168.1.1, and now it will ask for the password. Password we set as a admin1 PA55, and see here we are able to connect to R1. So our SSH configuration is successful. Now we will configure server-based AAA authentication using Tacx Plus on R2. So click on R2, click on CLI tab, and here press enter. Give command enable. It will ask for the password. I'm giving the password Cisco ENPA55, and now I'll give config command to bring it into the configuration mode, and now I have to enter here. I want to configure using terminal, and now R2 is in configuration mode. Now here for backup purpose we will configure our local username admin2 and a secret password admin2 PA. So command will be username admin2 secret, and the password which we are going to keep is admin2 PA55, and press enter. Now we will verify this Tacx server configuration. So for this click on this Tacx server, go in services tab, click on this AAA, and here you can see the entry for R2, the IP address, and the entry for the username which we created right now admin2, and the password. Now we will configure AAA Tacx server IP and secret key on R2. So command will be Tacx -server host and IP address. So 192.168.2.2, and now we will create a secret key also on R2. So command is Tacx -server, and key is Tacx PA55. So I'm setting this key as a Tacx PA55. Now next step is to configure AAA login authentication for console access on R2. So command will give AAA new -model. After that we'll give AAA authentication login default group Tacx plus local. Now we will configure the line console to use the defined AAA authentication method. So for that we'll give line console 0 and then login authentication default. And now we will verify AAA authentication method. So we'll come out of this configuring line mode. So we'll give command END here and then exit. And now we'll try here, press enter and it will ask for the username and the password. So here we'll try to give the username and password which we have created right now. So we created username admin2 and the password is admin2pa55. And yes, our username and password is created and it is successfully given here and we are able to log in here using this username and password. Now we will configure radius on this router R3. Click on this CLI tab here, press enter, same process, enable and password, then config and terminal. Now R3 is in configuration mode. So here on R3 we will create another user name admin3. So command will be username admin3 and the password will be secret and password will be admin3pa55. Now our R3 is in configuration mode. Now we'll verify whether this entry is done in Radius server or not. For verification, we have to click on this Radius server in the service tab on AAA. Here you can see entry for R3 and the user which we have created admin3 and the password. Now we will configure AAA login authentication Radius server for this R3. So here we'll give command radius hyphen server space host and IP address .3.2. Okay. Now we'll create a key also for this IP address. We'll create a secret key. So command is radius hyphen server key and we are keeping the key radius PA55. Press enter. And now we'll configure AAA login authentication for console access on R3. So command is AAA new hyphen model, then AAA authentication login default group radius local. Press enter. Now we will configure the line console to use the defined AAA authentication method. So command will be line console space 0 and login Authentication default. We can use this tab key also to complete the command. Now we have to verify this AAA authentication method. So we have to come out of this configuring line mode. So we'll give command ENT here, then exit here. And now here we will try to log in using the username admin3 which we have created right now. So we'll give username admin3 and password. Password is admin3PA55. See here, we are able to log in successfully using these credentials. So we are done with configuring this Radius server also. Now once again we will open this PT activity which contains this addressing table here, and you open this and click on this check results. So here it says that our activity is completed. If we check this assessment item, so here you can see we have configured everything which was required on R1. We have configured this AAA, then VTY line, and then on R2 console line R3, and we have configured everything. So that's all about configuring this. So that's all about configuring AAA authentication on Cisco routers using Packet Tracer. Thank you so much.